it's like, yeah, you can beat the original Zelda on NES without a sword, but it's not really.
Why do you want to?
It doesn't feel like you're intended to play that way. They didn't really think of it. It's just, hey, you technically could if you wanted to.
Yeah,
but
it's possible.
Yeah, and I do think that they are smart to do that, because I've had a problem with modern games kind of just either giving you the level right below hard, or like, and you have to beat the game once and then unlock the hardest mode, or they give you a mode that's not actually hard. It's just like everything hits you harder, and it's bullshit, and they instant kill you. Like Dragon's Dogma did that, where the hard mode was basically instant kills. You can't actually survive. So I was like, I can't. This is unplayable. I can't play it. I could play it, but I'd be there for hours trying to be like a mini baby encounter, you know?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they made you level up super fast every time you killed something, so it ended up being not hard mode after a while. It didn't make any sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was a very fun game, by the way.
It is.
That was
fun.
a game pretty ahead of its time.
I never played it on I guess the 360 came out on, right?
Yeah. I've just played it on PC.
Yeah, that's where I got it too. So,
but that has so many good things that so many RPGs could learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seemed like such a deep game, and the original was what, 2012?
Yes. Yeah. I think you're right.
But like, there's so many games, so many like RPGs today that I think could learn a couple things from that.
Yeah.
Like, even games like I love The Witcher 3, but if it had some of the mechanics that had, like, not even on the magic stuff, but like, just, I'm just going to climb up on this monster and just, attack it in this specific area that I'm climbing on, or stuff like that. Just like little things like that are just like,
you mean that
so
feature
badass.
from Shadow of the Colossus?
And that.
From back in early 2000s?
Yeah, which people just seem to have forgotten about, because then they're like, oh yeah, that's a giant thing. Alright, guess I better attack its leg for 2 hours.
Well, I guess that has to do with, like, you don't want to copy people either, because everyone would be like, this is like Shadow of the Colossus, and that's...
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because Castlevania Lords of Shadow, the first major boss fight, it was a big thing that you climb on and you hit it in weak spots, and everyone was like, wow, it totally ripped off Shadow of the Colossus. And it's really just one fight in there.
Right.
And honestly, that was actually an idea that Nintendo almost used before that game came out, where they were going to put that in Ocarina of Time, where Ganon was going to be this huge thing that you had to climb on top of in order to actually fight him. But they were worried about actually being able to do that on the N64 without it catching fire. So, but I mean, I think that's a great idea. Just because there was one game that centered on that, it doesn't mean that it's something that other games shouldn't feel okay including.
Yeah, I mean,
at least in some way.
One game has turn-based combat doesn't mean every game that ever has it is a rip-off of that game. It's okay to use ideas from other games. It's as long as you're putting your own spin on it and using it in a good way. If you're just trying to rip off, Shadow of the Colossus, that's different. But like you said, in that game, it was one boss fight, and it was a pretty well done boss fight.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's all art, because video games are art at this point, and they've always been art in some way. And like, after a while, all ideas kind of rotate around. Like, every movie you watch is a quote unquote remake of another movie that's already been done with certain ideas, blah blah blah, from before. But I mean, there's a lot of ideas in the world, but to get a truly original idea without piggybacking off with someone that did it before you is very hard. Like, I mean, like,
it's very rare. And if those were the only games that came out, we would hardly ever get new games.
All we'd ever get are indie titles. That's all we'd ever get.
And even then,
they'd end up copying after a while.
Because a lot of indie titles are really just channeling a lot of stuff from older games in a modern way, but just they are tapping into what they know they want and they know we want.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's just something weird, but I think that's why not even most companies, but I think people are